At first glance, this rather large Nokia phone might look like a regular old Android phone. But don't let looks deceive you, because what's really under here is a Windows Phone flagship device from 2013. So in this video we'll mainly be talking about using Windows 10 Mobile in 2019, but we'll also talk about the Lumia 1520 itself. So let's get started. So to begin, we'll talk about something that surely you've noticed by now, the massive 20 megapixel camera. This is a pretty decent camera. It takes good photos. Unfortunately though, mine is broken. As you can see, when you're taking pictures and even videos, especially videos, I believe it's the ISO or iOS or OIS sensor, whatever it is actually busted. This is a common issue with this device, among some other common issues we'll talk about. I actually ordered a replacement camera part, a genuine one, but towards the end of making this video, it broke entirely, unfortunately, so I cannot use the camera until I replace the part. But otherwise, take a look at these pictures. These are some really, really good pictures. What about storage? Well, for storage we're lucky. We get a micro SD card slot, which allowed me to put in a spare 64 gig micro SD card I had lying around. So now I can store tons of pictures and tons of music. In fact, I have so much music that I decided to sort it out and then create a PowerShell script to actually create M3U playlist files for me. So now I can listen to all my music and have it nice and neatly organized. So far so good. Before we dive into Windows 10 itself, I just want to bring up a couple other things about the Lumia 1520 in specific. First off, they have screen problems. Mine has it. Yours will probably have it if you decide to buy one. They all have it. This has been known since the device's launch back in 2013, which really sucks because this is a flagship device that you can pick up for 65 Canadian dollars. However, they will all have this screen problem. Now, I got lucky and got mine for free because of the screen problem, but the best thing to do is to just literally bend the phone and it temporarily fixes it. It doesn't really bother me that much because it rarely happens, but it'll still happen and some people won't like that. And then there's also that camera issue that I discussed. That's another problem. However, these two big issues, there's one really good thing about this device as well. Battery life. This phone is from 2013. It's a flagship device from 2013, and I'm still getting about more than a day of just regular usage. Not constantly on the device, but regular usage. That is amazing. I believe the device has a 3400 milliamp hour battery, and considering its age and the fact that it's still able to hold that much of a charge, it really shows you how optimized Windows 10 is and just how good the battery is. So now we focus more on the software side of things with Windows 10 Mobile. So, to begin, let's take a look at Instagram. Works pretty well. It's actually much more featured than the iOS version for iOS 6. You can answer DMs, watch videos, upload pictures without the square resolution. You know, anything that you could do on the regular app, I think you can do here. The only thing I think you can't do are stories, but honestly, this isn't Snapchat. Who cares? So what about streaming music? Well, Audio Cloud lets you stream SoundCloud music. It actually works pretty well, and you're even able to sign in with your SoundCloud account to keep up to date with artists you follow and just check out new stuff that you want to explore, so that's pretty cool. So what about checking the weather really quickly before you head out? Well, AccuWeather has you covered. I couldn't get the MSN weather app to work. It broke after I updated from Windows 8.1 to Windows 10, but AccuWeather still works really decent nonetheless. It's a little bit hard to read, but the live tile feature is very useful. How about YouTube? How does that work? Well, it works perfectly fine through Microsoft Edge, unfortunately. There are YouTube apps on the Windows Store, but one of them you have to pay for, and I don't like the idea of paying for apps that much, so I use it through Edge, and I'm going to kind of combine web browsing into this segment too, because Edge works perfectly fine still, and if it can use YouTube just fine, you can do anything else on it just fine. Honestly, you get used to using YouTube and Edge. It's not that big of a deal, and it works just fine. In fact, I have more functionality through using YouTube and Edge than I did using the YouTube app for iOS 6. Can I keep up with my friends on Facebook? Of course you can. And actually, there's a lot of functionality there. You can react to posts, but you cannot react to comments. You can't do live videos either, but the majority of the other functionality is there, so it's still pretty up to date. Unfortunately, Facebook Messenger falls a little bit flat. It's very glitchy. You can't do calls, and you also cannot react to messages either. Oh, and there's no dark mode, so if you were looking for that, nuh-uh, too old, sorry. But otherwise, you can post pictures, you can post videos, voice messages, answer people, so it's relatively good enough. So when you look at it, a Windows Phone seems like a pretty decent phone in 2019. However, unfortunately, Microsoft is dropping all support for Windows Phone in 2019, and apparently Facebook and its suite of apps are going to be pulled from the store April 30th. So that's not too far from now. So really, I can't recommend buying this device for all the problems it has and using Windows Phone 10 in 2019. It's not a good option unless you're someone who just uses their phone for super small things and you happen to grab all the apps. I don't even know if Facebook is gonna make it so you can't sign into the apps or something anymore, but Windows Phone 10 is unfortunately dead, and it's very, very obvious. But as of this video, it's still very capable. However, you should not buy one. And you definitely should not buy a Nokia Lumia 1520. As much as I love mine, it's not worth it. It's unfortunately a device that was a little too ahead of its time, and it's plagued with issues. As always, thanks for watching, and let me know if you are using a Windows Phone 10 device in 2019.